What's going on, Jerome's? We're still in the doldrums of the offseason, and it, of course, is ranking season. So we're actually going to do up a series ranking NFC North position groups. It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, individuals, not just position groups. But we're going to start off at the top, the most important position in all of team sports, quarterback. And you know, fans of each teams of the NFC North are going to be entrenched. Vikings fans are obviously going to say, well, not, I mean, half of Vikings fans will say Kirk. The other half will say not Kirk. It is how it is. The Lions fans will say Jared Goff. The Packers fans will say Aaron Rodgers. And Bears fans, of course. Bears fans are militant in their support of Justin Fields. So hopefully he'll turn a corner in year 3. Actually, no, screw him. Yeah, I forgot. No, he's division rival. Screw him. That is all. But we are going to objectively, even as a Vikings fan, rank the NFC North quarterbacks. Now, we went too deep on each team, so quarterback and primary backup. So we'll start off all the way at the bottom, number 8. Danny Etling. That is legitimate. Yes, they did draft Sean Clifford, but right now Danny Etling is the QB2. It's just I don't get it. So, like, if you're the Packers and you have an untested first-year starter in Jordan Love and you're going to back him up with Danny Etling, like, how do you not sign a competent veteran? Even though I didn't like what Spielman said at the time, like, how do you not sign a guy like Teddy Bridgewater or a veteran backup to just in case Jordan Love poo-poos the bed, which is also a possibility. But Etling, former LSU Tiger, 7th-round pick by the Patriots back in the day, bounced around the league from the Pats to the Falcons to the Jaguars to the Packers, etc. It just I don't get it. Like, maybe they're banking on Sean Clifford, the 5th-round pick from Penn State, but that's a bad plan, man. That's a bad plan. Number 7. So they got Hendon Hooker, the 3rd-round pick, where I like Hendon Hooker a lot. And honestly, if the Vikings would have taken him in the upper echelons of the draft, even though the Vikings didn't have a 2nd-round pick, I would have been okay with it. But he is a little bit older. He is 25 coming to the league, but 35 last year for the Vols before tearing his ACL. 27 touchdowns, 2 picks, live-ass arm, did tear that ACL like we said, so he's come back from that. And, you know, some questions about Josh Heupel's offense at Tennessee. Was it overly simplistic? Sure. Was it super effective? Yes, but I do think that Hendon Hooker does have some nice intangibles. I think that he could potentially be the quarterback of the future, since even though Jared Goff is still relatively young, I mean, they haven't really committed to him long term, but could Hooker be the guy in the Motor City eventually? It's a possibility. Next up, number 6. PJ Walker, dynamite. I really like PJ Walker, the pride of Temple, XFL superstar for the Roughnecks from back in the day. 2-3 for the Panthers last year as a starter. 78 quarterback rating now. You can do a lot of things with Walker that you can do with Justin Fields, especially as a passer. I mean, Walker is not the athlete that Justin Fields is, but I think that if you needed a quarterback to hold down the fort and hold down the ship for a couple of games, keep you afloat, I think you could do a lot worse than PJ Walker. Next up, number 5. Nick Mullins. Ooh, that's right. Nick Mullins, Vikings QB2. Now, we're knocking on all the wood. We're hoping that Jaron Hall, the 5th-round rookie, rises up and supplants Nick Mullins as a QB2, but that's no aspersion on Nick Mullins. That's more hyping up Jaron Hall, where Mullins is a perfectly solid veteran backup quarterback, which is why the Vikings traded for him from the Raiders last year. Has started 17 games over his career, primarily with the Niners and Kyle Shanahan, and he can sling it, man. 63.3% completion percentage, 7.8 yards per attempt. Does have a tendency to potentially give the ball away, 23 picks in his career versus 27 touchdowns, but he can be a guy that can come in, can operate the offense, can distribute the football to your playmakers and go from there. That's exactly what you want in a veteran backup. To the starters. Next up, number 4. Actually, it's been so tilting to Packers fans if I put Jordan Love below Nick Mullins. But Jordan Love, they're handing over the keys to the kingdom. 1st-round pick in 2020. He's still younger than Hendon Hooker, by the way, but it's funny to me. But he's only attempted 83 passes in his career. Did have 1 start, which was a loss. But I do think that he does have a live arm. I think that he will operate within the framework of the offense. So now we actually get to see if the 12-year-old boy is actually a competent head coach or if he was getting by with the alleged back-to-back NFL MVP. #MVP. But can Jordan Love be that guy? I don't know. Like, the offensive line is a little bit helter-skelter in front of him. It really does hinge on if Bakhtiari can be back from injury for the first time in 17 years. It does have some nice weapons on the outside, and Watson and Dubs, etc. But I don't know. I don't know. Packer fans have been cruising for a bruising for 3 decades now, just moving on from quarterback play to the barren wasteland. Barren wasteland. Can't wait, man. And I like Jordan Love. He seems like a good dude, but hopefully he collapses in on himself like a dying star, and hopefully he's just completely poopy at the quarterback position. Next up, number 3, Justin Fields. All right, so Justin Fields back at Ohio State. The knock on him is that he needed playmakers and perfect protection to really operate, and that has sort of bared out where, the Bears' offensive line was makeshift last year, but still he threw for 2,242 yards passing, 17 touchdowns, 11 picks. But was really notable is that he just took it and ran a lot, 1,143 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns on the ground. But despite all that, and it's almost like Shote with the Angels, where he puts up all these stats both as a pitcher and a hitter, and then the Angels still lose. It's exactly what it was with Fields, where Fields would be all over Twitter and social media just putting up these crazy highlights, but the Bears still ended up with the worst record in the league. And some of that was on the defense, some of that was on lack of playmakers around him. And there's a reason why, even though the Bears had the number 1 overall pick, Ryan Poles and company decided to build around number 1 versus taking a quarterback up at the top. So, that's a lot of faith to show with the guy, because the Bears... the Bears will be back at number 1 anyway, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. But can he develop as a passer? They did do some work to shore up that offensive line, bringing in the tackle from Tennessee, as well as trading for DJ Moore. So maybe. It is a big if, though. It is a bit of a gamble at this point. Next up, number 2, Jared Goff. So, respect. Jared Goff did have a career year under Ben Johnson last year with the Lions offense, really operating at a high level, 4,438 yards passing, 29 touchdowns, 99.3 quarterback rating. Now, this is all saying that Jared Goff had Jared Goff had a great year last year for the Lions. Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl, where him and the Rams offense put up 3 points against Brian Flores' fantastic Patriots defense back in the day. No big deal. No big deal. But I think that he will operate at an extremely high level. He has a great offensive line in front of him in Detroit, as well as they are piecing together the weapons, even though J-Mo is going to be suspended again for 6 games. Had to hit that parlay, man. But frankly, Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of the best wide receivers in the league. I think he's extremely underrated. I think Jared Goff is perfectly adequate, but are you ready to say that he's going to be a guy that takes it to the next level, helps you win the division, helps you take you far in the playoffs? Not ready to say that. And it's Cousins, where Kirk Cousins in year 2 with Kevin O'Connell, the first time he's had the same play caller 2 years in a row with the Vikings. He's got Jefferson, he's got Hawkinson, he's got Addison knocking on all the wood. Hopefully that offensive line can get their ish together. He does have the best tackle duo in the league in Darisaw and O'Neal, especially Darisaw is rising up to going to be a superstar left tackle. But last year, 13 wins. Hey, remember when everyone was ragging on Kirk Cousins because of his QB wins record, even though quarterback wins isn't really a stack, but it is more of an indicator. But everyone shut up about that now. But reigning, defending NFC North champions, 45-47 last year, passing 29 touchdowns, highest PFF grade of all the NFC North quarterbacks. And I think that he has a chance to be even better this year. Again, even without Dalvin, even without Thielen, I think that they're going to get back to running the football with a plum, bringing in Josh Oliver as well as C.J. Ham. That means that play action is going to be more viable. Kirk Cousins is still one of the best play action quarterbacks in the game. Kirk arm strength is still there. He's still one of the best deep balls in the league. And with Jefferson, Hawkinson, Addison, KJ flying around making plays, I think that Kirk Cousins has a chance to put up a phenomenal season, could just completely drop in the Darjeeling blend pure teabag on this division again and just go from there. So, yeah, for me, ranking the NFC North quarterbacks, it is Cousins, Goff, Fields, Love, etc. And the Vikings do have the best backup right now in Nick Mullins. But not that I'm biased. Got him. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Ranking the NFC North quarterbacks objectively, of course. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.